So one question that I get asked all the time when I am pouring my Flip Turn Cellars wines at events for people and I'm giving them my whole speech about how my wine is made, the question I always get is, what are neutral barrels? And you may have heard this term before, whether you are out at a winery tasting and the tasting room associates giving you again, a giant speech on how the wine is made, or you see it on the back label when you are shopping for wine. But the term neutral barrels is really important in the world of winemaking. So we're gonna kind of discuss what the term means and why winemakers choose to use neutral barrels. So before we get into neutral barrels, let's talk about what new barrels are. New barrels are fresh off the boat from France, barrels that have never had wine in them. And so when they are used first time in a wine, they are gonna impart a lot of flavors into the wine, such as vanilla, baking spices, caramel, butterscotch, toast. All of these flavors from the oak are going to seep into the wine and ultimately add in extra aromatics and flavors into that wine when it is finally ready for consumption. Now, neutral barrels on the complete end of the spectrum are barrels that have had wine, and it varies. It varies as far as how much wine or how long the barrels have been in use. But neutral barrels are basically used barrels where wine has been in there typically for about 3 uses. So 3 batches of wine have been put into those barrels, and this can range anywhere from 3 years to 6 years, all the way to 10 years. And it really just depends, like all things in wine. But with these neutral barrels, because they have been used so frequently in wine production, they no longer have those flavors in them. So they're not going to have the vanilla, the butterscotch, the toast, all of those oaky flavors are not going to be imparted into the wine. And so there's a lot of reasons why a winemaker will choose to use neutral barrels over new barrels. And number one is they just want the wine to be very expressive of the varietal and really bring out the characteristics of that grape and not have any additional flavors or aromatics coming out in the wine. So again, just that really true expression of the wine that they're trying to make. Another reason is that barrels, they add a little bit of oxygen into the wine, aging or helping it in the aging process, and then also softening the palate, making it very round on the palate and complex, and then also just softening out those tannins, especially in a red wine. And so that's also, again, a winemaker will choose to use neutral barrel if they want all of those elements of a barrel to go into the winemaking without adding all of those flavors from new oak. And then finally, neutral barrels, because they've been used, because they've been around for a while, they're just a lot cheaper than new barrels, which can run about $2,000. And I don't know, I get a lot of my neutral barrels for Flip Turn Cellars for about $75 a pop. So a lot more affordable. And again, there's more reasons why a winemaker will choose to use neutral barrels over new oak, but that's a quick rundown, and let me know if you have any questions in the comments. That's it for today.